Hey y'all, welcome to Life on Gallman Road. I am Brenda and we are going to get ready for Thanksgiving. Today is Wednesday, Thanksgiving is tomorrow, and we have friends coming over. So we should have, counting us, we should have 10 to 11 people tomorrow. It has been a week. I have cleaned and tried to get everything ready, and we are pretty much there. But I need to start on my food, so I'm not having to do it tomorrow. So, now I already did one thing before I turned my camera on, excuse me. Fluff. My fluff is done, so we're gonna put it in the refrigerator. I am sure we're gonna have to make room in our refrigerator because I want to get stuff done today so I don't have to worry about it tomorrow. All I have to do is just pop it in the oven or turn the crock pot on. So right now what I am doing, eggs. I have got my Instapot over here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. There it is. But I've got my Instapot and we are going to do, we're going to do a dozen. But I was just thinking, my crazy deviled egg holder holds 20 eggs. So that's going to be 24 eggs. So, we'll just have to see. I don't think I have another deviled egg holder, but I digress. ADHD. Okay, so what we're going to do, get this thing plugged up because these eggs need to cook. Now, I have a dozen eggs in my Instapot. Let me see if I have... Okay, I do not have an egg timer on here. So, I'm going to get about, I don't know, a half a cup of water to go in these eggs. And then we're going to set our Instapot. I have my eggs in here. And I also put a cup of water. Now, I have my trivet down in the bottom. And I know you can't see it. But we could fill this thing up and it would still be fine. But all I have is a dozen store-bought eggs. And then I have farm fresh eggs. But we're going to put our lid on. Hopefully. Lock it into place. And we want to make sure it is sealed. Because we want that. Now, I don't have an egg button on mine. But I have one that is rice. And then I have one that is beans. Either one will work because one is 6 minutes, one is 5 minutes. So we're going to go with the rice and risotto timer for 6 minutes. We're going to let this cook for 6 minutes. We're going to let it naturally release for 6 minutes. And then we're going to put it in ice water until I can get to it. That's how that works. Usually 5 to 6 minutes in the ice water and you're good to go. So 5-5-5 method works just as well. In here for 5 minutes, natural release for 5 minutes, and then they say 5 minutes in the ice bath. But usually I'm busy and anyway, I don't get right to it out of the ice bath. So, but we're going to let this cook while we move on to something else. So in preparation for today, I decided I was going to make it easy on myself when it came to the cooking. Full pans, people. When it's gone, throw that thing away. Don't have to worry about dishes. We got enough dishes to deal with, right? I also bought disposable plates. We may wind up, and I'll have regular spoons in all the dishes. So we'll probably use regular forks. I have some disposable cups that we will have tea or water or beverage of choice. But yeah, aluminum pans. That is how we're going to roll today. We're going to get started now on our broccoli and rice casserole. Now my broccoli is frozen, so I'm just going to pop it in the microwave. It's in a steamer bag, so it's probably not going to cook all the way through, but it sure will make it easier on mixing everything up if it's thawed. So in the microwave for just a little bit to get thawed, and then we're going to add cream of mushroom, onion, rice, some processed cheese, some milk, and some butter. But before we start that, I just want to show you. I have a friend that makes sourdough bread. Y'all know I have been trying this artisan bread with no luck. Well, and I've already cut into it, but look how beautiful. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And I hope you can see through the shiny plastic, but look at that. I had a sandwich out of this today, and it was fabulous. So, until I learn how to do this, I will be getting bread from her. So it is wonderful. I'm going to do my homemade rolls for tomorrow. Probably tonight. I'm hoping tonight. We've got to go to a friend's house and have supper. But I'm kind of hoping when I get back, I can get them to that the first rise. Like when we make them out into the rolls before they do that final rise, I can stick them in the fridge, and then I can just put them on the counter in the morning while I start on everything else, getting heated up and things like that. They can rise on the counter, and then I can throw them in the oven about 11, and they will be piping hot for lunch. That is my plan. We're hoping all goes well. But anyway, I'm going to grab this broccoli, our rice. We need to dice an onion, our cheese, cream of mushroom, milk, and butter. All right, I have a half an onion chopped because that onion was a little big. So I am only going to do half of it. Now, my goal for a couple of these dishes, we're going to mix them right in the pan. And I'm not sorry about it. So what we're going to do, and I'm going to tilt you down so you can see. Let me get a paper towel. I've just put my onion in the pan. I've got my cheese and my cream of mushroom soup here. So I'm going to tilt you down and let you see what I'm doing. So let me do that. All right. I hope are going to get into this cream of mushroom. I opened up pineapple chunks a while ago, and the little tab popped off. Come on. There you go. All right. So onion, cream of mushroom. Everything's so hard to open today. Oh, our cheese. It's just the great value, like cheese whiz. And it's fine. This is a 15-ounce jar. So nothing says the holidays like processed cheese. You know how it is. You will see some more processed cheese, namely Velveeta, in our macaroni, because you know that just gives it such a good flavor. So let me see, get this jar cleaned out. And that's why another reason I like to heat up my broccoli just a little bit is because then it will help incorporate this cheese. Oh, and I should have had our butter out. I forgot about that, but that'll be okay. We'll get there. If it doesn't melt here, it will melt in the oven tomorrow. All right. All right, that's pretty good, right? We're going to call it good. And I'm just using the back of my knife to scrape all this goodie off. Okay. I'm not really sure about how much rice, because I usually do a bag. Okay, that was our eggs that just went off, so let me put a timer on for 5 minutes. Okay, so this is a ½ cup, and I believe we're going to go with a cup, possibly. Okay, we're going to go with a cup of rice. Come on, dude. Why do they have to make it complicated? All these flips and tabs, and all we want to do is cook. Oh, we cooking now. All right. ½ cup. And 1 cup of rice. And you know, I'm okay with the butter not being softened, because we're going to put it probably on top anyway. Now, I just have regular whole milk. I always have to smell it. I'm gonna start with a ½ cup. We may wind up putting more. It just depends. And I don't have this is my mother-in-law's recipe, actually. I don't have that recipe right in front of me. But this is a recipe that she has done every holiday, family reunion. This is her dish. So when I came into the family 30 some years ago, I fell in love with it, and I brought it home to my mom and dad. I cooked it for them one Thanksgiving, and they really enjoyed it too. So that cheese melted in so much better than usual. All right, so we're gonna get our broccoli in there. Y'all, these bags, these cans, what are we gonna do? Let me get scissors. I don't know why it has to be complicated or difficult. All right. We may need to do a little chopping, because we don't want, you know, great big pieces of broccoli in our casserole hot. So let me show you what we got. And I'm probably gonna, you know, send water or something all over creation. But we're just gonna kind of run our knife through them, because that is a large piece. I don't mind the stems. It all cooks, you know. So let me put that in there so I can have some room. Beautiful color. Okay. And I used to could get a bag that had, and this is broccoli florets, but I used to could get a bag that was all small, but I have not seen that in forever. So we just do what we can. Just be careful when you do a bag like this. You're going to have some liquid, and you just steamed this, so it's hot. So just, you know, be warned. Now, I have done this with fresh as well. That does wonderful. I just put it in raw chop it up and put it in raw. And then, of course, while this bakes 30, 45 minutes, whatever, it does perfect. All right. It is hot. Okay, last of our broccoli. Fling it everywhere. There's our timer for our eggs, right in the middle of everything. You know how that goes. Okay. You know what? I think I'm going to add another half a cup of rice. So that's a total of a cup and a half of rice. And let me go ahead and do that other. So that's a cup of milk. Let me grab this timer. Hang on. All right. Back to our eggs for just a second. I've got some ice here in this bowl. I'm just going to put our eggs in it. And then I'll take it over to the sink and fill it up with just cold tap water. All right, to the sink. My mama called just as I got to the sink with this. So I have cold water along with our ice and our eggs. And they're just going to sit here until I get ready to peel them. So they'll be good to go. Okay, back to our broccoli and cheese and rice. Grayson has got it from his nap, so he's going to help us out in the kitchen today too. So we're just going to get this stirred around. Trying to get that milk incorporated. That's our main thing. And right before I bake it tomorrow, I will see and make sure it hasn't dried out. And I may add another little dab of milk. If you are sending this right to the oven, this is absolutely perfect. So we're going to spread it out just a little bit, make it even. And then we're going to give it some goodness flavor. Let me get a clean knife because we cut onion with that one. But we are going to do about a half a stick of butter and see how that looks. So let's do that. I should have picked up some butter today while I was in town and I did not think about it. But we're just going to lay like pats of butter there on top. So what is the weather everywhere? Here, we had a cold front come in. We had some bad weather Monday night. And a cold front came through. So I really don't even know what the temperature is right now outside. I just know Clarence is in coveralls. So let me check the temperature. All right, it is 58 degrees. So that's different from that 68 that we had just a few days ago. All right, what I'm going to do, I have a top for this. This is it right here, but I think I'm going to cover this in foil and then put our top on it if I can make all that happen. So hang tight. All right, now I cut our foil little. I didn't want like a whole lot, so this is just gonna just barely lift over here on the sides. So let's get it. Okay. Now let's see if our top will fit. Now we're going to put this into the refrigerator. Tomorrow when we get ready in the morning, I will probably take it out about an hour before I want to cook it. Just kind of bring it a little up to room temperature. And we're going to bake this at 350 for probably 30 to 45 minutes. You want that rice tender. So check it at the 30, but probably 45 minutes would be fine. And this will be scrumptious. All right, I wanted to bring you over here to show you how easy the shell just falls off these eggs. Done. Easiest way to do deviled eggs or boiled eggs is your Instant Pot. It is fabulous. 5 minutes, 6 minutes, whatever you prefer. And these are wonderful. Now, I'm sure every now and then you'll run across one that kind of hangs up. Otherwise, perfect egg every time. Now, I'm just rinsing them off just to make sure we don't have little pieces of shell on them. And I don't have to worry about that tomorrow. And these will not take long to make up anyway. What I do with my deviled eggs is mayo, a little bit of mustard, and I use dill relish. And a lot of times with the dill relish, you don't even have to add salt. That dill does enough. Sprinkle with a little paprika if you would choose, and you are good to go. And there is another dirty bowl. Now I'm going to sit this gallon bag down in this colander I had earlier. And we're just going to put some water in there, and we will stick these in the fridge another dish down. I just had a friend call, and she's working on her Thanksgiving stuff as well. And she was talking about her chicken for her dressing. And that is one thing I have not done. So, I am going to throw in, I was hoping for a little piece. These aren't overly big. Okay. So I'm going to put some chicken in the Instant Pot. You know that one we just did the deviled eggs in? I took out the trivet. Woo, almost hit myself in the face. And I'm going to cook this chicken. I do have a poultry setting on here, and I think it's 10 or 15 minutes. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to put that onto cooking. I got to find the lid, but I've got to add some water. Question of the day. Do I add chicken broth or just water? Because I know I'm going to need, let me just add water. I know I'm going to need water. Chicken broth. I know I'm going to need chicken broth later on for my dressing. Seal it, lock it. Yeah, that does say chicken meat. 15 minutes. We're going to let it go. I will not add in this meat until after I cook my cornbread, of course. So we have time. I was thinking about going ahead and doing my dressing and getting it in the oven, and then we could come back and do our sweet potato casserole. So I think I'm going to do that. And if we do both those things, we got tomorrow licked. It will be great. So let me, and I'll take you along, even though you've seen it before, and my measurements are crazy for dressing because I've done it for so many years just by sight and feel. I thank the good Lord every day. Hillary is also one of those cooks, and she has learned from both myself and Mama. I learned it from my mama. She's learned it. She also cooks by sight and feel. That's hard when somebody comes up to you and says, hey, I want your recipe for whatever. So, it is what it is. And we try to get as close as we can on that. But sometimes it's hard. So I'm going to go ahead and get out our cornmeal. And yes, it was in the freezer. Welcome to the South. We have bugs. So if I can't seal it up really tight in a bucket, yeah. And a lot of times you need to put your flour and cornmeal and things like that in the refrigerator or freezer anyway for a couple of days. That way, you know, all of those critters freeze and don't grow and multiply. And then you can put it in your, you know, storage container and you'll be fine. But I just keep mine in the freezer. It does fine. So let me get started on this so I can get it in the oven. We are going to preheat to 425. I forgot I had a candle on my stove along with everything else. All right. Let me move my candle. Oh, one went out, but that's okay because it probably needs to go out anyway. All right, so 425 on the oven. Let's get started on the dressing. All right, accomplishment moment. My daddy always used to say, Brenda's a good cook, but she can mess up every dish, pot, and pan in the kitchen. He was usually on cleanup crew. Anyway, my sink is empty. My dishwasher is going. We're cleaning as we go. I've never been taught that. That is hard for me. Score. All right, I think we are ready to go with the dressing. I've got my cutting board. We've got to cut up some green onions. I have eggs. They're farm fresh, so I have a bowl that we're gonna drop them in first before we put them in. I have our cornmeal, just regular self-rising cornmeal. I have buttermilk because I need my sweet milk for macaroni tomorrow. I have garlic powder that we're going to put in there. And I found this, but I don't think I'm going to put it in my cornbread. I think I'm going to wait until after when I do my second seasoning. This is Chef Paul somebody. Magic Seasoning Blend Poultry Magic. And it smells really, really good. It really doesn't tell me what's in there. It says spices, salt, garlic, onion, and paprika. But it smells good. So I think that's going to be for my second seasoning. So I'm going to put that over here. So just in my cornbread mixture that is going in the oven. That will be my meal, my eggs, my green onions, my buttermilk, my garlic powder, and just a little bit of oil. Grab that over here so I don't have to run for it. Now, I will say, I washed my cast iron because it's probably been this time last year that I used it. And yes, oh my stars, I used soap and water on it. It's fine. It is in the oven right now, getting dry. I don't like to dry it with like a paper towel or whatever because it's going to leave all that gunk on it and everything. So I'm drying it in the oven. I will oil it really well before we put in our cornbread, and then our cornbread has oil in it as well. So let's see what kind of eggs we got, because the other day I had to start all over with something I was baking. I had actually cracked my eggs into another bowl, but my other eggs, I had already cracked 2 in there, and on my 3rd egg, it was bad. So I had to throw that out. So if you have farm fresh eggs, you sometimes get a hold of a bad one, and that's life, right? But look at the color on that thing. Is that not beautiful? All right, so we're adding 4 eggs into that cornmeal. And that's probably 2 cups of cornmeal. Maybe 2, 1, 2, maybe 2.5, close to 3. 2 3/4 maybe. Anyway. Y'all know I'm not good. I'm not really good at eyeballing it. So guesstimating, because we're going to do a big pan. We're doing the giant lasagna pans. That is going to be a 13 by 9 5/8 by 2 3/4 inches tall. But, so that's going to be that. I'm going to put some garlic powder in here. And on my dressing video, I had somebody say, ooh, garlic in stuffing. And I said, it's not stuffing. This is dressing. A lot of times you can drop that G too. But anyway, then the person, I'm not sure if it was a man or a woman, came back and said, well, garlic in dressing, ew. Well, I thought about it. And you know what? Not everybody likes garlic. So we're going to let it go with that. But this is no different. I mean, it is different. But, I mean, garlic bread. That's a thing, right? A nice garlic bread. So this is just garlic cornbread. And really, don't knock it till you try it. So I'm going to get our little onions cleaned up a little bit. Just so they don't have that stuff on there when we go to start chopping. And it'll take me a minute to chop these. So I have 2 bundles just in case. I wasn't sure if I was going to need both bundles. And I might, because the tops are a little wilty. So I don't know. We'll see. So what I like to do is take my onions and kind of get them all even. That way, all that root kind of is in one spot. And we get rid of that at first chop. So then we have good onions all the way. I'm probably not going to use all of these. I'm probably going to go to about there. Because that's a little wilted. So I'm going to chop these into just rounds. Yeah, you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going to chop these just in rounds, just like that. So rounds. That's what I call rounds. All right, we're going to get this done, put them in, and then we're going to see how we are on if we need more green onions. Okay, we got our green onions chopped. Let's see how that goes right now. I'll know better once I see it. Milk and maybe a 1/4 cup of oil. And if I added too much milk, we can always add more meal. That egg incorporated. And I have to remember, buttermilk is thick. And this is really thick. This is our farm buttermilk that is not very far from us, that we love. We love their milk and their buttermilk, and I don't have their sweet milk today, which I'm kind of sad, but the milk that I do have is it's a good milk, so it'll be fine. All right, so there's that. Now the question is, do we need more? Because we're doing a great big pan. Let me show you the pan. So here is the beauty that we are using today. This was Clarence's aunt's, and I love it. I love it. It is perfect for dressing. I was trying to see, and maybe this is mine. Maybe Hillary has hers. Hillary borrows, and is that a 10? Maybe that's a 10. Maybe is that a 10 inch? I would have said 12. Anyway, it's large. So I'm debating, because I don't want thin cornbread, but I don't want, too much either. All right, let me debate. Well, my camera started without me. What do you know? I just put my oil in my skillet. I'm going to pour this in. I know it's going to rise. We're going to see where this takes us. If I have to make another little pan to get the volume that I need in my big lasagna pan, that's not a big deal. So let me get this poured in, and we'll see what we look like. All right, this is where we're at. And the oil looks brown. I don't know why it looks brown, but it's good oil. I'm going to bake this up. I think it's going to rise enough to where it's going to be fine. And I can, like I said, I can always make a smaller pan if I need to add some. All right, we have that in the oven at 425, and that's going to cook for probably 30 minutes. We are at 352. The friends that we're going to their house tonight, he's a sheriff's deputy, so he doesn't get off until 6. So I really don't have to worry anything. We're probably not going to leave the house until about 6. So give him time to get home, change clothes, kind of settle down a minute. So we're doing good on time. Now, I don't know if you heard or not, but the chicken beeped while we were making our cornbread. So I'm going to let that naturally release for a little while, because it's not time for me to do anything with it. So it will be fine. I'm going to put up my meal, the green onions and buttermilk, get that out of the way, and get our ingredients for our sweet potato casserole. Normally, I peel and boil and everything for the sweet potatoes. Not this year. We're going to do a can, and these say yams. They're yams. Anyway, my other ones say sweet potatoes. I thought I had the same thing. Anyway, I may only need one can, but we got to check that too. So I pulled out my handy dandy family cookbook that's got stuff all over it from years of use. Found my sweet potato casserole recipe. And this is calling for 3 cups of sweet potatoes. Now, I used to do the glass, what do you call them? Like the Pyrex, not Pyrex, Corningware. They were clear glass. Anyway, they had the glass lid, the whole 9 yards. Anyway, I did one of those with this recipe. I'm going to mash up these sweet potatoes just to see what our volume is. And I'm going to do it in the mixer because I don't know if these have strings or not. You know, sweet potatoes have strings. These probably don't since they've already been processed, but that's okay because we can actually mix everything in the KitchenAid, get it in our pan. Now, this has a topping. I know some people like the marshmallows, some people like the crumble top. This is the crumble top. It's butter, brown sugar, flour, and pecans. I know a couple of our people coming tomorrow, pecans isn't a really big thing with them. So what I'm going to do is half topping with the crumble and half with the miniature marshmallows. I hope that turns out right. Anyway, we are going to do the casserole part, and I'm not going to put the crumble on until just before I put it in the oven. I don't want it to get soggy and kind of melt down into the sweet potatoes. So I will do that in a separate bowl. But we're going to do our sweet potatoes in the KitchenAid. So let's go over there. Okay, I've drained all the liquid out of these sweet potatoes, or well, they say it's yams. So I've got a puppy dog standing underneath my feet. Let me see, because I think the mixer I use is in the dishwasher, but I think I have another one. Let me see. Piled up under everything. Ta-da! All right. So we're going to just let this mix and get them mashed up. I can already tell I'm going to need the other can. So while this does this, let me go get that other can and get it drained. Now, these are Sugary Sam golden cut sweet potatoes. Yams in syrup, and they do look just like them, so same thing. Little juice never hurt anybody, it's fine. All right, I think that's pretty good. Got a good mash going on, and we are gonna, of course, add a lot of other ingredients too, such as milk, sugar, butter, vanilla. So let's get going on all of that. I think I can't remember, and it doesn't say here, but I want to think my butter needs to be melted or softened at least. So let me get that in the microwave. All right, even though I did 2 cans of the sweet potatoes, we needed 3 cups of sweet potatoes anyway. This is probably just a little over 3 cups, but it will be fine. I'm not going to double the rest of my recipe. And of course, I will put the original recipe down below, so y'all will have it if you would like to try it. Okay, I softened that just a little bit in the microwave. I don't know why Bo is so close. Let's give this a whirl since we put that butter in there. we're going to add a 1/3 cup of milk. And this is our sweet milk. This is not my paddle that is my favorite. My favorite one is the one that scrapes down the sides. So I will need to scrape down the sides. For this one, we are going to add 3/4 cup of sugar. So let's get that. That's a lot of sugar. I have done this in years past, and I probably should have done it this time. But I have made this with Splenda. It turns out perfectly fine, and there is no taste difference. No one in the family caught on that I replaced white sugar with Splenda that year. We're going to give that a mix. So mashed potatoes, milk, vanilla, sugar, and butter. That's all that goes in this. Now in this recipe it says 1/2 cup of oleo and a teaspoon of butter. I just do the 1/2 cup of butter and let it go. And y'all, this is done. Now our butter still kind of have some chunks. That is okay. It's not very big chunks. I'm going to get this beater cleaned off. See, there's some of those strings I was talking about. Can you see that? Those are not, they're not terrible. It's just, sometimes they're just not very palatable. So usually we like to get those off, but I did not. I should have used my whisk attachment to do that, and I did not. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun. So let me get this off into the sink. Yes, let's go turn this into a pan. I am going to use one of the lasagna pans because of the topping and the marshmallows. I want to be able to mound that up pretty good. It's going to all be in the same pan, but anyway. All right, so let me turn this up. And I'm not greasing this. Trust me, it's going to be fine. And I probably could have used just the cake pan, but this will be fun.
Daddy. If I do it too hard.
All right. So let's just spread. Oh, this is going to be perfect. So let's just spread this out. Now, as it cooks, of course, that butter is going to melt and get everywhere and be so good. Perfect. All right. Am I going to do the topping right now? Not on here, no. This does not come with the top, so what I'm going to do is tear off some foil and do just like I did before. Very, very tight along the sides, and stick it in the fridge. Let me debate on the topping for just a second. All right, I have my foil here that really is only probably about a joint, a fingertip joint long over our sides, because we want to, or at least I want to keep this tight. So that way I can fold it under and it be secure. Now, this will probably go into the other refrigerator because I don't think I have enough room in the refrigerator in here. All right, another one down. Oh, and the dishwasher just turned off, so clean dishes. All right, our dressing is done. Well, our cornbread is done. Let me see if I can get it out of the oven without burning my fingers off. Hot. Be careful. Okay. Woo. Hot. Hot. Okay. That's going to sit a minute. Nice and golden and brown and lovely. I will say this. I like to break it up when it's still warm to hot. Once it gets cold, it's a lot harder to break up and deal with. So everything absorbs, combines, and crumbles a whole lot better when it's warm to hot. And I didn't want to get started on the topping for our casserole, sweet potato casserole, because I knew that was coming out of the oven. Grayson found his granddaddy's earbuds, one pair. I have 3 right here on my counter charging, except that pair. 2's charging. He is in the chicken house still cleaning out. He's got one house halfway done. So he probably is starting in the other house. But anyway, where's his phone then?
I don't know. Probably with him.
Grayson just found Clarence's phone case, and so I'm now wondering in what pocket is he going to lose his phone. Anyway, topping for the sweet potato casserole. All right, for our topping, we need to chop some pecans. We only need a half a cup, so not many. We need a half a cup of butter. So I need to get that melted. I want to melt that because we're going to add a cup of brown sugar and a 1/3 cup of flour and mix all that together, and that's our topping. It's going to kind of crumble and stick together, and which is what it is supposed to do. Once you put your topping on, it's going to go into a 300-degree oven and bake for about the same time as the broccoli casserole, usually 30 to 45 minutes. Just depends on your topping, how brown you want it, or whatever. Now, it's probably still going to be a little, what's the word? Not crunchy, I guess, right out of the oven. Once it starts to cool, then that crust will form on top out of this crust, or this topping. So don't think you've messed anything up. I have got a little bowl here. Hopefully it will be enough. Let's get going. Y'all, I'm going to be pushing it on this flour. I don't know if we're going to have enough. We should be fine. Oh yeah, it's going to be fine. So I had almost, whoops, sorry, you can't see. I had almost a 1/3 of a cup in my measuring cup, and I'm just going to bump out everything that is left. And I need to put flour on my list. Nothing unusual there. That's fine though, because this is our last recipe. All right, so we're gonna do a cup of brown sugar, and I've got my butter here sitting like I'm gonna be using it like this. But let's go ahead and get this in. So this is 1/3 of a cup again. So 1/3. 2/3. 1 cup. And let me get this butter either, I may just do it softened, like I can mash it up with a fork. Let me get this in the microwave a second. I think I can mash this with a fork. So let's try. I went on and stirred around our brown sugar and flour to get that mixed together. And we're going to see how we do with this butter. It may take me a minute to get it mashed around. It's a little bit harder in the middle than I thought it was. But we're going to get there. Let me work on this. Hang on. All right. I stuck it back in the microwave for just a second, but it's going where I need it to go now. I need that butter to absorb all of the flour and brown sugar. It looks like that. It's not melted. It's not melted. So, now we need pecans. We need 1/2 cup chopped, and I do not measure. I usually do not measure pecans because we love them. So all I'm going to do is just give these, let me raise you up a little bit. I'm gonna give these a rough chop. Yeah, it's probably more like a cup, but anyway. And they're gonna fly everywhere. It'll be fine. Some will get more chopped than others. These are frozen as well. And I always pour out too much on my board and they go everywhere. But my counter is clean. So we'll just pick them back up and go again. Now, like I said, the recipe will be down below. If you want to try any of these recipes. Tomorrow, Clarence is going to put the ham and a turkey breast on the smoker. That will be good. All right. Now, the way I'm going to add these in, because yes, this is more than probably I need. Just a handful at a time. We're going to stir. Okay, that's good. Another handful. Stir. We're getting to the consistency that we like, so I think we will be fine adding the rest. Okay. Now, and what we'll do in the morning, this will be solidified again because of the butter. And we will set it out and let it come to kind of room temperature, or to where we can, maybe not even room temperature. We could actually take it, and I take it in my hand and just put crumbles like this. Like dot it all over the sweet potato casserole, but this time we're only going to do half. We're going to bake that, and then there at the end, right before we take it out of the oven, we're going to add our marshmallows to the other end. I got a pecan on my fork tine. All right, sweet potato casserole done. All right, we are going to get our cornbread in this bowl. It's the biggest bowl I got besides my glass bowl. The cornbread is out of the oven. It's cooled for just a little bit. I have cut it into a plus sign. It's the easiest way I know to get it out, and I'll work probably 2 sections at a time. Potato masher is the best thing to do this with. So let me reposition you. All we're going to do is get in here and just break it up. Just like you would potatoes. I use a twisting motion. And that will continue to break down the more liquid we put in. Okay. That is my absolute favorite. That crust, that end piece, the rim, whatever you want to call it. It got a little brown on the bottom, but it is fine. It is fine. All right. So now we start adding. Let me taste. We will need more garlic and salt. Get all my stuff here together. All right, so have a cream of mushroom. Come on, dude. Have a cream of chicken. Okay, we're going to start with that. We've also got chicken broth. Now I have extras to go in here just in case we need another cream of chicken whatever, but I also have several more cans of chicken broth if I need that. Let's add some of this. Excuse me. All right, I did pretty liberal because hey, it's a big pan. Potato masher again. I know right off we're going to need another chicken broth because that was a lot of cornbread. Nope, a little more. Let's give it an air pocket. Now I want this pretty loose for tonight because it's going in the refrigerator. And that water or liquid is really going to absorb. So, I know you're thinking, woof, that's a little loose, but it's going to be fine. We do need, I'm going to say another cream of chicken. We may, you thirsty, bud? Grayson's, you can't see him, but he has, right there, getting something to drink. All right. Now, that seasoning that we added had a lot in it, so we'll do another taste test. Come on. Why is it always so hard to get out? There it goes. All right. Get my tasting spoon ready to go. Y'all, I almost forgot the chicken, but let's taste. Salt for sure. That. That really didn't give it enough garlic taste either. Oh, my mama-in-law, she saw that. She is not a black pepper fan, and I forget about that all the time. All right, let's see where we are. We also, let's see if our chicken is, yes, natural release is done on our chicken. Oh, hot. So we'll get that out in a second. All right. It's pretty good. Trying to figure out what I need. I'm debating on that other can of cream of mushroom. And I've got a spoon to dip, and then I have my tasting spoon. Because we have company, and I don't want to double dip in it. I want to be good. All right. Let's see. Whoop. Can't. That right hand, don't want to make it fall in the right place. That's pretty good. Okay. Let me get a fork and check our chicken, because it's going to be the devil if our chicken's not ready, huh? Oh, yeah, it's fine. That big one may be a little, it's done. It's just, this is the pan we're going to do our dressing in that I'm putting the chicken in, so it's fine. And I didn't season my chicken when I put it in, so just shred it up. Now you can do this with a mixer. You don't have to do it with forks. It's just I don't want to have to drag out my mixer and have one more thing to do. Clarence just reminded me we were invited to an online auction last night, and he did buy some stuff. So we have to go pick that up tonight. So there's that. So when I get this done, we'll be finished anyway.
Daddy,
Yes, baby.
I'm a big mom.
All right, let me get this out of the way for a second and get at my stirring spoon. Should have got a great big spoon. All right. And all this has to do is just heat through tomorrow, so yeah, I think that's it. All right, let's add it to our pan, get it folded up and into the refrigerator. Oh my gosh,
What?
the dressing's heavy. Okay. I guess I should have left some chicken to put on top, but it's in there. It's fine. Okay. Let me get some bowl. Okay. All right, into the refrigerator. All right, I got everything done that I wanted done this afternoon. I may work on rolls later on. I don't know, maybe in the morning. Anyway, I'll leave recipes and everything down below on how to cook it, oven temperatures, that kind of thing, how long. All right, we did it. We did it. I hope y'all had a wonderful holiday. I hope you had lots of friends and family there, lots of good food. I really appreciate each and every one of you for coming and hanging out and just being with me. So until next time, I'll see you later.